It's the Booze Up, everybody. We're back, week
John,
2.
I lost your audio.
Uh-oh, what happened to the captain? He disappeared. Uh-oh. Wait, you can't hear me? I don't think he can hear me.
What happened between
well,
now and
I think
then?
you can hear me out there, so I'm just going to keep going until he can hear me. We're gonna work this out eventually, but yeah, it's week 2, guys, and as you saw, it's I know I can see you, Captain, but I'm just gonna keep talking, and we're just gonna see if we can work through this. It's the wonders of doing this in your home and the internet too.
I got you. We're back, John.
Sorry,
we're back.
Let me do this real fast, and I'm just going to go. See if you can jump in. That's what I'm texting him. So hopefully he can get in there. If he doesn't, then we might just pull the plug. And you can hear me now. Good. Okay, good. I don't know. That's going to probably happen. We're just going to have to go through it. If you can't hear me, just keep talking. Who cares? We've done worse shows. Trust me. So, Captain, how are you tonight?
I'm good, brother. We're 1-0 in the season. I'm feeling good. How about yourself?
I'm doing fine. Other than late technical issues that keep popping up when we are trying to get this going, but we'll work that out. We'll get it going smooth. I've used this before, and I've never really had an issue. It might be my computer. I'm gonna try something else next time. But as we were getting ready to go, it was too late to switch at that point. So we're gonna have to just suffer through this as we go. So. Yes, but you're right. And we are here to talk about Denver Broncos. And they are 1-0. You're 1-0 Denver Broncos. And what did I say? The Titans were going to cover the 8.5, correct? Did I say that?
You did. You predicted it right. That's why people turn into the show.
well, maybe not all of that. But yeah, I just had a feeling. So what was your impression of that game? I've got a bunch of opinions on it, but I want to see what you thought while you're watching it. I just want to say it was very nice to have a game to watch that actually mattered, and everybody was online talking to each other. I love that aspect of it. People are commenting on it. It's always fun. So let me know what you thought of the game. What from your point of view?
My point of view was the first 3 quarters of that game were really rough. It was hard to watch. I think we had a lot of expectations going into that game. At least I did. I had to remind myself this isn't the John Fox and Peyton Manning era. We weren't going to put up 50 puntos in the game. And so by halftime, I was a little disappointed. But, thank God for the Denver defense, holding them to no touchdowns. It was nothing but field goals. And I got to say, I think Bo Nix is had a rough start, but I feel he'll come back. John, I don't know how you felt about it, but that was kind of the overthought.
Well, yeah, but honestly, on the first drive, I thought he looked really good. Like he came out and was like ripping it up, and I was like, "Oh man, this looks great." Then it stalled, and I think they kicked a field goal. I can't remember, but it stalled out, and then the drives after that weren't very good after that moment. And I just thought, oh, this is really kind of awful. And yes, the defense is what saved him. I think that was obvious. But that would have been much closer, or in fact a loss, if the defense hadn't been playing probably the Tennessee Titans. So I really thought that they saved the day. I don't think I have as much doom and gloom as a lot of people do. I just think it was just the first game. They just didn't have the bugs worked out. I would hope that they do. I think Nix looks good when it's not like he looks clueless. It just wasn't working for him. I don't know what that was. I don't know if that was Tennessee befuddling him or what. If you watch like the Vikings game the other night, tale of two halves. JJ McCarthy he's essentially a rookie, right? Well, he looked terrible in the first two halves, and like to the point that like experts that I follow were like calling him a bust, and we're like, oh, this. I knew this guy wasn't going to be any good, and I was like, oh, it is only a half. He doesn't look good, but he turned it around, looked really good after that in the second half. But honestly, he looked terrible. Bo Nix did not look that terrible throughout that game as JJ McCarthy did in the first half. Now JJ looked a little better, I think, by the end, but Bo didn't look so bad. I think it looked like he knew what he's doing. I just don't think it was clicking.
No, I agree. I think, the problem is when you start giving up turnovers, and the amount of turnovers the Broncos gave up in that game, especially 2 INTs in crucial situations like Bo did, that's going to eat up at him. But, I got to say, Harvey was, I don't know if you saw the stat, but that guy ran 20 miles per hour on that run. That was like a 40-yard bust. That's incredible.
Yeah, he definitely, goddamn internet. Yeah, so I think this is on my end, Captain. We're gonna have to work this out. You blamed yourself last week, and I let you take the blame for that, and I really think it's probably on my end. But
the good thing is,
what's great is when I'm done talking, there's a bit of a lag, and then. Well, yeah, it's probably recording anyway. But no, there's a lag. So every time I get done talking, there's a moment where then I can go before you start.
That's why it's called the Boozecast, John.
It works out. That's right. That's right. No, I didn't. There wasn't much of the run game, but Harvey almost did break that big run near the end, and that was really sweet. And I thought, oh, if he just broke that, that would have been real nice. I'm not putting too much stock into it. If they get beat by the Colts, which we will preview at the end of the episode, yeah, I'm going to have some concerns. But I think that this was just first game rust. They had to knock it off. I think they got a team that was a little more feisty than they thought they were going to get. Now, they didn't play. The Titans didn't offer much on offense to get an advantage, but I think that their defense was ready to play, and I think they kind of stifled them a little bit. So, but first game jitters, we should be good going forward.
No, I agree. I mean, you got to remember, back in the day, there were a lot more preseason games when we were youngins, right? And so this is kind of the pre-recital before the good stuff, and it takes a good, I think 6 to 7 games now before offenses start clicking. And I'm excited for the future. Again, I think what we saw in the preseason with the depth that this team has, it doesn't concern me about where this goes. And I think, to your point, Bo Nix didn't look flat. I think he just was feisty a little bit by the defense. And I'm excited about where this is going to go next week, because I think the Colts may have some more problems than people think.
Well, we'll talk about that. No, Bo didn't look flat, but he didn't look round either. So we need him to be a round mound of rebound. Get
save it for the flat earthers
next week, Bo. And we'll talk about that in a bit. That's right. The big news is the new stadium is a go. I'm sure you've heard all about it. The new stadium that the Peeners are going to build just a few miles from where the stadium is now. So how familiar are you with the area that they're going to build it in? The Peeners, I like to call it.
I love the fact that you call them the Peeners, and I love what Vic Lombardi said. He's like, Burnyard. I didn't even know where Burnyard lived, and I'm in Denver my entire life. I had to look it up. First of all, you ruined part of my last part of my segment, but that's okay. I'm going to rebound. I'm very excited about this from an outside perspective, the fact that no
How did
no tax
how did I
dollar.
ruin it?
No, I'll tell you about it later, John. This is a special segment at the end of the show. But I got to
Okay.
say, I mean, you got to look
Okay.
at your ownership group. This is where the Chargers failed in San Diego. They kept putting the onus on the taxpayer, and it didn't matter what bill they put on the ballot every year to try and get people to pay for a new stadium. People weren't doing it because the Chargers were not a qualified team. And look at the peeners, as you say. No tax bill
Yeah.
to the Denverites. It's phenomenal. I mean, retractable stadium, potential for a Super Bowl and other great sporting events. I got to say, I'm a little disappointed in the fact that in my lifetime, I've now seen 3 stadiums for the Broncos. And that makes me feel old, John. I don't know. What are your feelings?
Well, I think you brought it up. The fact that we're not expected to pay for it is fantastic because everywhere you go, that's what they do. They make everybody pay for it. Coors Field was taxpayer subsidized, right? That was one that I actually was for because that was like 30 years ago, 35 years ago, and I was like, I knew that I go, this will be great. This will be a good thing for Denver. It'll be fantastic. I wanted to make sure it was going to happen. Now, yeah, those jackasses should have paid for that because they've done nothing but reap the benefits of it. So this is pretty incredible and fairly new territory for an owner of a team, right? To then just say, hey, don't worry about it. We got it. Now, I don't know what they get out of it. I mean, I'm sure if the taxpayers don't have to pay for a lot of it, they can get more money back from it eventually. I guess that's the whole deal. It's an interesting thing, kind of what they're doing. But one, that's great, and two, if the Peeners want to really get on my good side, like they've done a good first strike, okay, with this. But if they really want to get on my good side, these Peeners, they need to just call it Mile High Stadium. Now, I know it's not Mile High Stadium. It won't be. It's on a total different site. The other one was just moved over from the other side, right? So it's not Mile High Stadium, but they should call it Mile High Stadium or Mile High Stadium 2 or something like that. Now, they can slap whatever dickhead logo on the side they want. They can put whatever that if they want to sponsor it. Someone says, Comcast wants to sponsor it. They'll be like, that's fine. Put your logo on it. That's great. It's still going to be called Mile High. So it should be called Mile High Stadium at Burnham Yards is what it should be called. If they do that, plus with the, not having to pay for it, I will then be on the fence about the Peeners. I'm not even on the fence about them right now. I am strictly in my yard right now about the Peeners. But if they do those things, I might be on the fence. And then if they could win a Super Bowl or two, maybe I would fall over to the other side. But only if those things happen. That's what's going to have to happen. Are you familiar with the area it's going to be in, though? Go ahead.
I am somewhat familiar of it. I hate to claim that I am not a pure Denverite. Family from Colorado, live in Temecula, so I don't want to be too pretentious here. But I am aware of the area. I think it's a phenomenal area to do it. I mean, it's the same thing that the Colorado Rockies did. Sorry you had to pay the bill on that one. But I agree with you on the naming convention. If it does not include Mile High, it's going to be really difficult, I think, for anybody in Denver to swallow. Call it what you want, Empower Field at Mile High, but Mile High has to be included. John, I disagree with you. If Mile High 2 is included, it's not a sequel. It just needs to be Mile High. Leave it alone. The first cut is the deepest.
Listen, Mile High Stadium, it is in Denver. It's a mile high, right? So it doesn't matter that it's not on the same location. The other one, was whatever, Invesco at Mile High. It doesn't matter. It's a state of mind, right? It's state of mind. It's an altitude. So if if they want to move it down the street and build a new fancy new one with a retractable roof, that's fine by me, but they do have to call it Mile High. So let me talk to you a little bit about what this is going to be. If you've ever taken the light rail, which you probably haven't because you have no going to downtown, but if you ever
I've taken the light rail, John. I'm that much of a local.
Have you? Okay. So if you've ever hit the 10th and Osage station, you will look out to your well, I would say the right, depends on side. If you look out to the east, you will see the Buckhorn Exchange. You know what the Buckhorn Exchange is?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what it is? Okay. So if you know what the Buckhorn Exchange is, that's right where I think it's going to be. Just maybe to the west of that, and just into the north. Because there's a bunch of Denver water buildings there that I think they're going probably just, I think they're old buildings. There's a brand new building they built maybe 10 years ago that I think won't go anywhere, but the rest of that's there. But they've got a ton of train tracks there that I don't think they're gonna reroute, and obviously that train station will drop people off right there. So I think that's where it's going to be. Maybe somebody knows a little bit better than I have. I just kind of looked it over. I haven't really heard. They talked about there was like a cement company that's there, and I looked it up, and that's just north of where I think it's going to be. They need to get rid of that. It'll be fantastic, but I think it's going to be a weird clusterfuck to get in and out of there because I'm curious why they picked that spot. Only the peeners know, I guess.
You got to have a deep peener to know where you're going, John. And no, I agree with you. I saw some of the aerial views from drone shots. How you do parking in an area like that? I'm confused. I'm not a city planner. I'm confused in the fact that I haven't even seen a rendering of this stadium yet. I don't know if that's publicly out there and I just missed it. But I think, now would be the time as everybody's got the hype train going behind this new stadium. In 6 years, by the way, that's incredible. 2031, they're saying, is going to be the initial year for the Broncos to play in that stadium. Excited. I'm excited to see a Broncos Super Bowl in that stadium and other great major sporting events. Yeah. But people talking about Final Fours and stuff. But I loved what Vic Lombardi said when he talked about, hey, the great thing about a retractable roof, if it's a light snow, dump it on the Raiders. But if it's 32 degrees or less, you shut it down. Like, let's not make the people of Denver, get frostbite. I'm paraphrasing. But yeah, I think it's great. I appreciate it. I think Minnesota getting a Super Bowl back in the day was kind of tragic because I think Denver's got better weather, but a retractable roof fixes that.
So I did years ago, I did a study where I went back and checked the weather on every day of the Super Bowl for going back 10, 12 years. And this was the case for, Denver having a Super Bowl. And the weather on that date for good 10 years or whatever it was fantastic. So let's say it was in early February. It was like rarely snowing. It was probably 50 degrees. This is a little known secret about Denver that we don't want too many people to know is that, it can be very mild in those months. Now it'll get nasty too. It can be nasty and cold, but there are spots where you're like, I'm walking outside without a coat on, and it's February 3rd. So that was the case for a long time, and I haven't tracked it since, but it always seems like there's never been a huge blizzard when there's been a Super Bowl. Now, of course, they would host one this year, and of course, that'd be the biggest blizzard ever, which would be kind of fun, right? But you kind of want the Super Bowl to be unimpeded. So, yes, Denver has had good weather, and it's something they could have done, but it's too unpredictable. So this, if can guarantee it, then that's fantastic. I hope they can do it that way.
John,
Am I
I would
transmitting all
like to.
right? I got all sorts of shit going on with this
No,
fucking
you're
thing.
good, brother. You're feeling good. I feel like the electrons are coming through
Okay.
better. But I would say this: fuck a Super Bowl, my friend.
Okay.
This show's about hot takes. Uh, Football is about unpredictability. I mean, look at what the
Whoa.
Buffalo Bills did, right?
Yeah.
Have a Super Bowl in Denver during a blizzard. Make it interesting. We don't need constrained conditions. It's football. It's not baseball. It's football. Let it be played in an environment in which the conditions are meant to be played. So no, I agree with Vic Lombardi. You know, if you open the retractable roof for the Raiders and screw everybody else.
Well, yeah, that's a great plan. You get a
Great video to
warm weather
talk.
team in there, and it's like it's like 30 degrees. Wait, what's going? Why is your camera moving? Does your camera move with you? Is what's going
It
on?
does. It's an AI generated video, and it's like, hey, look at my crotch. It's the Booze Up podcast. Look right down at the Captain Bronco
Yeah, it's
interesting
great.
parts.
It's
I have
like
tracking off.
I
This is
I
good.
think everyone should look at your nuts right now.
Well, you know, it's just like when you were giving
Um,
everybody the banana
no, I
split
think
on
that's
mine.
great, and that was a long time ago. We've moved beyond that, I think. So
Way past it.
anyway, it's going to be cool. It looks like a good spot. I mean, I guess I don't know. There's neighborhoods to the east, neighborhoods to the south, I-25 to the west, and then like not much before you hit like Colfax on the north side, some industrial stuff. So I don't know what they like. There was a rendering where it showed like the stadium and it showed like a Chanel store around the thing, and I'm like, you're really gonna put that there? I go, that doesn't really
Hey, you know what? You know
honestly
what every good
that does not fit the neighborhood. If you know the
no, like
neighborhood there,
what's every good football fan gonna do when they're done? Like, hey, I need a Chanel bag.
I gotta go to the Chanel store. Hold on. I'm gonna throw up first from all the shitty beer I just drank, and then I'm gonna go hit the Chanel store for a bag. Yeah,
They're
it's
gonna throw
not.
up
It
in the
doesn't
Chanel
seem
bag,
like
John.
and it's not like throw up in the Chanel bag. Yeah, so that makes me think of a quick story. There was a thing I had to go to this. I've gone to a couple of my wife's like family reunions, and they go somewhere, and everyone gets together. It's a big family, and my wife left her purse on the bus, and the party bus, and we went somewhere, and maybe she left it. I don't know what happened, but she gets her purse, and she goes, "Oh my god, my purse is all wet." And I'm like, well, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Oh god," he goes, "Somebody threw up in my purse," and so someone puked in her purse, and we think, and I'm not going to say any names, but it was this one person who was trying to hide the fact that they were drunk from some other people because they weren't supposed to be drunk, and they got a little too drunk, and instead of vomiting on the floor, they found the nearest thing and they vomited in my wife's purse. Real classy shit, man.
John, I wasn't there, so you can X me off the list of your no knives club.
I I figured that, but that's what made me think of the Chanel puking in the Chanel bag. So yeah, real high end fucking stores that no one's gonna go to except for like one part of the year. Like literally, like this is not a Chanel neighborhood. This is a very working class, old school Denver neighborhood, and yeah, it's I don't know. I'm sure they'll do a great job with it. Anyway, let's move on. I want to talk about we're gonna talk about the game coming up um, very soon against the Colts. But I did want to mention Jim Irsay because Jim Irsay died recently, like a couple months back, I think. And Jim Irsay was a
Beverly
crazy mofo.
Hills. That's where you go to die.
Is that where he died?
Yeah, he died in a hotel room in Beverly Hills, John. We can talk offline. There was a
Tell me,
deal.
because I don't know.
Yeah, no. The autopsy report came out. He died in a Beverly Hills hotel. Doesn't surprise me. Jim Irsay was an interesting character, very much into classic rock lore. Smoked a ton of cigarettes, had a history of stuff, but interesting character nonetheless.
Well, I didn't know. I didn't know where he died. I guess I didn't look that up. That makes sense. That rich guy would just go to Beverly Hills. God knows. I don't know what if he's had a history of substance abuse. Obviously, I don't know if he was still using anything. But obviously in the past, kind of a weird dude. But the main thing that I know him for, other than owning the Colts and being a weird guy, he owned the original manuscript, the scroll of Jack Kerouac's On the Road. It was written on a big scroll. So Jack Kerouac wrote it while he was on fucking speed and just sat there and went and wrote this whole novel out on this huge scroll. Somehow they transcribed it into the book that everyone knows today. But they had it showing at the Denver Art Museum. This was a long time ago. This is like mid to late 90s. And me and my roommate went down there and we checked out the scroll. And I was always knew that this was owned by the guy who owns the Colts, or at least the guy who inherited the Colts from his dad. So, but still, pretty cool that he owned that. He thought enough of that book that he bought the scroll, and it was his scroll. I don't know where the scroll is today, but I'm hoping somebody's got it safe.
It's kind of like the Lord of the Rings, John. You don't know where any of the scrolls are, but thankfully they're in the hands of Frodo Baggins. But now that Frodo Baggins is dead, hopefully it's someplace safe.
Wait, Frodo's dead?
Did he? I don't know. I didn't watch the end of the trilogy. It was just too long for me.
Spoiler alert! Come on, buddy. Let's get those spoiler alerts out there. So no, he's not technically dead. He went to the Grey Havens. So if you watch, how did you not watch the end of Lord of the Rings trilogy?
I bought all the extended editions and they're all like 4 hours long. And I'm like, I can't do this. My attention span as I get older is shorter and shorter.
So you've never seen the end of the Lord of the Rings movies?
No, I saw it. It was like, hey, look what Gollum ended up running around and he still got the ring, but the Eye of Sauron, and it was like, eh. Like, did you watch the Amazon stuff? I heard the Amazon stuff was terrible.
Oh, I didn't finish that second. I think we started watching the second season, and I just was like, I don't care about this. This doesn't make
there we go. There's the answer, my friend. I don't care about
the original. Wait, what happened?
You're like, hey, I couldn't finish the second season. It's not good.
I think our weird delay is screwing me up. I can't.
This is what video conferencing was like in the 1970s when Cold War was.
Yeah, we got to work this out. I think you're right. Yeah, it's throwing me off a little bit because I'm not getting everything that you're saying. So I hear you go wah wah wah, and then it cuts out. So great, it's great stuff regardless.
It's great commentary. I guarantee you, it's not.
Well, anyway, we'll get into some TV stuff later when we can actually hear each other a little better. Why don't we do this? Why don't we get into the game this week, and then you can do whatever you had planned. Excuse me. This week, your Denver Broncos are taking on the Indianapolis Colts. and Daniel Indiana Jones in Indianapolis. Denver's favored by 2, and the over-under is 42.5, which I believe it was close to that last week. And I was like, "Oh, this is going over. They're gonna go off because everyone's gonna be rusty defensively." Definitely wrong on that. It went way under. But 42.5, the Colts look pretty good. They looked like they were doing it. I think they're going to look bigger. Danny Dimes, as he's known, is going to have a little bit stiffer tests this week against the Broncos. So how do you see this one going? And please don't tell me it's going to be 58-0.
No, John, you're correct. My over-unders were completely overestimated last week. I can't have the same amount of enthusiasm as I had the week before. I do think the Denver Bronco defense is going to come up strong against the Colts. He didn't get the pressure last week that he would foresee against Patrick Surtain, Nito Benito, as I'm calling him. I do think the Broncos are going to bring the heat that didn't happen last week against the Colts. So I do think the Colts will get a lot more pressure. I do think Bo Nix is going to rebound from last week. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. But not being a betting guy, I'm not going to put up points. I will say Broncos win by 10.
10. Wow. Okay. Well, don't forget the Colts played the Dolphins. Look like world beaters against those guys, which it's great. Good for look nasty. Like they were all over those guys, and I think they're going to be all over the Colts. Is this under now 42.5? I think I'm looking at that. Like that might not be a high scoring affair. I just don't think Daniel Jones is going to recreate the magic that he had this past week. If you had him and you played him, awesome, good for you. But I just don't think it's going to happen for him. I think you're going to be all over him. They're going to be ready for him to run. And I don't think he's going to have as much room as he had this past week. And their skill guys probably maybe on par with what the Broncos have, but I think they're going to eke it out. I would say that the Broncos will cover that too. I think it's probably a 3-point game is what I'm thinking. So it might be very close, but I think the Broncos do it. So we would probably be looking at a 2-0 Broncos team after this week.
John, I would say that's a 6-0 team after this week because we went 4-0 in the preseason. So the undefeatedness that I predicted in last week continues. I would also say I agree with you. I just think the Colts offense is not ready for the Orange Crush 2.0. I got to figure out a better name for that. People are throwing around names, but I do think Nick Benito is the new Von Miller. He's exciting. Patrick Surtain just shutting people down. This defense is going to get frustrated if the offense can't produce, but I do think they're going to come back. And I think Harvey, again, is an untapped resource, being a rookie who's going to show up week after week. So I'm going to continue with my 10-point spread.
Okay. I mean, anything could happen, but I really thought that I thought they were going to go over last week, and I kind of saw the writing on the wall where we're going to get a touchdown from Cortland Sutton. They're going to maybe get like a rushing touchdown this week. I don't know. We'll see. That's the beauty of the game. That's the beauty of what we're doing here is we can make some minor predictions and see how they come true. And hopefully they'll have a win. I'm hoping that they can get a couple wins under their belts, and the Chiefs continue to lose, and the Broncos can put some distance between them because they're going to need to. But no, it should be good. I'm looking forward to it. It's great to be back in the season and just enjoying the ride so far. The Broncos country, let's ride, as they say.
Broncos country. No. See, John, that was one of the questions. So I think this leads us into my spicy new segment, which is called.
Okay.
It's time for John Reedy's spicy hot takes.
So, John, hopefully you heard that segment. We're moving into John Reedy's spicy hot takes. You're going to have 1 minute to give me a reparation. How about a description of your feelings on 3 topics that I have for you? The first coming from an earlier football game, Travis Kelce getting slapped like a bitch.
Reparation? Like I need to pay you money?
Hey, if this podcast makes money, that's a good thing for us.
Hold on. Oh, did you just ask me a question? Because I only caught the part of Travis Kelce.
No, that is the question, John. We are asking if Travis Kelce getting slapped like a bitch. What is your opinion?
Oh, my opinion on it? It's great. I love seeing it, and I want to see more people do it. You didn't get kicked. The guy didn't get kicked out of the game, so precedent set. Keep hitting him. Just smack him in the face. It's great. He needs to be hit more. He needs to. People need to show him the lack of respect that he deserves.
Yeah, I find it interesting that the referee's description of why he didn't get thrown out of the game was it was an open-handed slap. Open-handed slaps are okay. Close hand slaps, not good. Please consult your local police department for references.
Well, who's going to close hand slap somebody in a football helmet? Like, yeah, that's how you're going to slap. You're going to punch him with a fist into the plastic of that football helmet? No way, man. You're always going to open hand slap that. So it was great. We need to see more of it. If Mahomes can get a couple too, I would appreciate that as well.
Oh, seriously, I will pay $5 to any player willing to open hand slap somebody for a penalty flag because you're not getting tossed out of the game anymore, my friend. Hey, that goes on the fact of let's go into question 2. Dak Prescott spitting first. What are your thoughts?
He definitely spit first, but as you could see, he had 2 linemen like in front of him. So like he had 2 big guys in front of him. So he spit through them far enough away that there was 2 guys there. If someone spit that far away from me, I really wouldn't have an issue with it. Then if someone came up and spit on your chest like that, then you'd have a big issue with it. So, no, I don't think what Dak did was a problem. I think it was just him, he was just standing there and he just spit. I mean, there was 2 people in front of him and he spit. So it's kind of like, why would he spit on his own players? It doesn't really make sense. So, but the retaliation was uncalled for. You never want to spit on someone's jersey. It's really bad.
That's what is more going for, John. What was your feeling on the retaliation fact? It was kind of like a JFK shot from the library. Maybe in today's context, not the best reference. But I still would say it was the action that led to the action. And was Dak Prescott the instigator? I don't know.
Okay, hold on. So in hockey, you can stick somebody with your stick, and then if someone turns around and punches you, they get a penalty. They never see what you did. That's how it goes. So if you retaliate, you generally get called for it. So he retaliated, and he got called for it, and he got kicked out of the game. And it's the Texas Book Depository, by the way. That's where that is. It's not the library that he was shot from. Texas Book Depository. I know my JFK assassination lore.
as all men over 50 do, know history when it either comes to major events or smoking meats. Thank you for clarifying that. But
That's right.
depository or library, depository has a different meaning for me nowadays. Okay, let's move on to segment 3. Philly's Karen, John. Everybody's hot on Philly's Karen. I feel like we got to get a hot take from John Reedy on Philly's Karen.
Well, speaking of suppositories, that's what I think of Philly's Karen. She's a big suppository, big thing you shove up yourself and fill yourself full of liquid that comes flying back out. I think there should be more Karens taking away balls from kids, because the kids get rewarded afterwards. When the Karens throw a fit, they freak out, and obviously everything's filmed now, right? So anything that happens gets filmed. So the Karen flips out, and then the team's like, oh man, we got to do something for this poor kid, and then the kid gets hooked up. Now maybe it's a little traumatic for the kid. He looked like he was okay. The dad at first was like, whoa, but he got to meet Harrison Bader, who hit the home run. He got like a bat and a ball, whatever. And I mean, the kid was living large after that. It was great. So thank you, Philly's Karen. Thank you for doing that, because now this kid got to have the experience of a lifetime, because you were such a fucking loser.
I agree, but I would also give Philly's Karen some credit. I think some people underestimate the part about being socially inept. Philly's Karen's nowhere to be found on the social internets. Nobody's located her, as far as I know. They've only come up with some people who didn't really identify as Philly's Karen. She's under the radar. It's impressive.
Well, she was probably, I couldn't tell how old she was. She looked like she's at least in her mid 50s, maybe mid to late 50s. Based on her hairstyle, I
had some other comments I was
going
to put in there.
Account, right? Like that says that hairstyle screams Facebook account to me. She's not like got like a blue sky or anything like that. But I'm shocked they can't find her. I know there was something where someone was offering her $5,000 to apologize, and I was like, you know what? If that was me and I had that moment in time where I made myself look really bad taking a ball from a child, I would definitely fade away. I would change my dumb haircut, and I would just pretend that it never happened, is what I would do. And that's what she probably did. She probably was like, she knew the drill. She's like, if I'm online, like let's say tomorrow I go down to the Rockies game. I don't know if they're playing. I have no idea. I don't follow them. And I steal a ball from a kid and I make a big deal out of it. I guarantee you I am fucking front page news and everybody's on me, and I'd have to shut all accounts down. And so if she didn't have any to start with, God bless her. That's good. We should all have less accounts. We should all have no accounts. It'd be a better world if we didn't have any accounts.
John, I agree with you. I think not to get too philosophical on the podcast, but I will tell you, the longer we go as a society with everything going on in this world and everybody playing criminal justice warriors, I feel like the social contract is becoming more and more like some of the, shall we say, restrictive governments in the world that just constantly monitor people and ask if they're doing good behavior. Because sometimes Americans just want to do bad behavior, like this podcast. I'm all for it. And this is why we have John Reedy's Hot Takes.
It's time for John Reedy's Spicy Hot Takes.
It's Simone at the end that gets me, John. My wife wasn't all into that, but I went with it anyways. It was a editorial decision.
Hey, it's all right. It sounds good. I think you got a good segment there. I just would like to say that we definitely need to bring back shame, and if someone does take a ball from a child, they need to be shamed. There was a guy at a tennis match, and he was like a Polish like billionaire, and he like stole a hat from a kid. The guy signed a hat and was handed to the kid, and the guy yoink, and he took it. You know about this one?
Oh yeah, fuck that
he
guy.
Took that, yeah, and then he was just like, oh, you know, whatever. I think at first he said something like, hey, you know, and you know, or maybe somebody else said like, oh, this guy.
Oh no, he
hard,
refuted
why
it,
should he
John.
have to, you know, he paid for tickets. Like, well, did he really pay for tickets? Who knows? But did he? Okay. Well,
oh yeah, he was a total jerk about it at first, and it wasn't until he got called out.
You should never. That's why we have to bring back shame. We have to shame these people because there's too much going on. I don't know if they were doing this before the internet and camera phones, but they probably were, and no one could record it. But now everything gets recorded. So yes, we need to shame these people because there's literally no reason for you to be stealing a hat or a ball from a kid. Now, you know, if the ball was somewhere else, if someone ran up and they took a ball that like you were reaching for, whatever, and they just took it and ran off with it, you'd be kind of pissed. The guy handed it to his kid, and you're like, okay, well, at least he handed it to his kid. I guess I'll have to wait for another one. So anyway, not to backtrack on Philly's Karen, who, you know, I think really could get like some sort of like Philadelphia hairstyling endorsement, you know, like some
it's a Philly cheesesteak of a haircut, my friend. What the hell was that?
Probably get a good speech there. She's got the Philly cheese on her head. Yeah. So anyway, but no, great segment. We'll do that again. I'm always ready to offer my hot takes. But let's get out of here because this is annoying me that I have my bad connection has ruined this. Even after I blamed you last week, and now I realize that it's my fault. But I'm going to rectify that and try to. I've used this before tons of times, and I've never had this problem. I think it's because I switched computers, and I know this is fascinating to everyone out there, but I switched computers because the other one was fucking up, and I was like, well, I can't have that happen. I can't have this crash on me. I was doing a fantasy draft, and that on that computer, and it just went.
For the audio podcast, John is completely frozen, and it's not going anywhere. This is great. Excuse me while I play some whimsical music till he gets back. Well, John is out, everybody, and so am I. I don't think this is being recorded anymore. Goodbye.